Failure, struggle, and cold ass winters. And it's sad to say it's been like that for a long, long time. You dig? If you got a society that is broken to the point where the kids can get it, there needs to be a hard reset, man. The kids are the ones we are supposed to be bringing up for the future. Right. But in this day and time where the houses are absent of daddy, never addressed him. I addressed black women because nobody supports gangsters and gays more than a black woman. The black woman is the number one cheerleader for gayism and gangsterism. She date them and she raise them. The presence of a strong male is gone. Yeah, that's real shit. So the children are going to run amok and get gunned down as they home invade people's house. The man is going to put his hands on that little girl who thought she was bold enough to hit his son in front of her. Because... All right, Shalom. I want to give praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders. A great millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto his like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. We're a culture, a broken people that has been a broken culture for a long period of time. And this society has inflicted so much damage unto us. However, these affliction mostly is self-affliction. So pretty much all day, I don't know why, for the past, I don't know how many hours, I've been watching what was going on between those children in Chicago that jumped a woman who had sickle cell with her two children. And her eldest son was 9 years old. So all those children are around the same age decided to jump the woman, which I'm going to put another video. She pretty much saw it. She played it a little bit, but YouTube and everything like that. You know what? I don't know. Let's see how the spirit goes. So they jumped the woman, and that was a big thing. Oh, that's what I was supposed to get. Well, I'll fix it. And the cries of the people are mixed because, in one hand, the people are upset and blaming the actual school. And on the other hand, the people who are upset, who realize, like, nah, it ain't the school. They want to blame the parents. And all the kids that did that, they found the mothers, and the mothers, obviously, which is not a, whatchamacallit, it's really what's happening, that these children are in a single mother home. To produce something so wicked, and everybody's trying to, figure it out, like what is to blame for this stuff. So matter of fact, yeah, this is gonna be a tricky one because I got videos and I don't have videos. I've been watching this shit all day. It's vexing. It's truly vexing. And he brought up the fact that back in the days, he's from Chicago, from the projects of Chicago, and he said there was some sort of decor back then, which wasn't really a decor. It wasn't. See, the era I grew up in the era we had respect for our elders, which is not pushed in the quote unquote community. But I gotta say it like that, two quotes. But it's not pushed into our people any longer because that rebellious spirit. Okay, that fucking rebellious spirit that Jake has. And of course you gotta blame Esau for a lot of this, but sometimes you just gotta just face the fact. Y'all fucked up. All right. And as a race of people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we already had our own culture. We already had our own ways. But there was something, we had a common pattern, even though we're somewhat culturally different. We may speak another language, but you'll see similar traits. And that similar trait is the respect that we have for people that was above us. Okay. And that rebellious spirit, which is honed in by Esau. And I remember growing up, I used to get my ass whooped as a child. I deserved it, of course. But I remember they was trying to push the narrative of, parents abusing their children and so forth. And they was pushing, damn, I forgot the name of this shit. There was actually a program where kids could call anonymous and say that, oh, they're being abused by their child. So the child had more rights than the parents. And I remember it was like early 90s, you start seeing it in movies, shows, everything like that. And the whole thing was, you're not supposed to beat your child. Well, it's not that you're not supposed to beat your child. You're not supposed to abuse your child. But they took the rights from the parents to direct their steps. And then what that leads the children to do whatever the hell they want, when they want, how they want. And one of the rebellious character on television at that time was Bart Simpson. So I go back, and I remember Bart Simpson, the way he used to talk back to his father. He was just a terrorist. He's a Dennis the Menace wannabe, and that was being pushed. That was being programmed to the children. Okay, it was like a cool thing to talk back and so forth. Simultaneously, when you see Esau and their children, and all brothers know what I'm talking about, and you'll see them, and it's like, I hate you, mom, and you see that shit, like, and they'll go crazy talking shit to their parents, and their parents just laugh it out, and we just be laughing like, ha ha ha, look at these white boys, these white kids, and I would never do that, right? But what ended up happening? Just like feminism, just like all the other shit, that shit creeped into Jake. And then what Jake do? They emulate what they see. Then my generation decides, oh, when I have my kids, I'm gonna do better than my parents. And then what that ended up doing is cycle of fucking stupidity of raising. That was then what really made me want to do this. Niggas like to reinvent the wheel, bro. Niggas like to reinvent the wheel. When you reinvent the wheel consistently, you have nothing. Okay? The will has already existed, and the Lord told us what to do. Real quick. The Lord already put in our spirit what to do. Leviticus 19 and 32. Thou shalt raise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy power. I am the Lord. So you're supposed to have a decorum when you see somebody older than you. You're supposed to sit there, and when that person comes around, you stand at a fucking attention. That's how we was raised. We was raised to, no matter what, that person could be this way or that way. So you have this mindset. And I remember seeing it, my generation, I'm the type of person that kept it going. You see, I'm a Levite. And what Levites do when you go to somebody older, you salute them. You give the women a kiss in the cheek. You give the man a strong, strong hand. You acknowledge that their presence, that they're there. All right. And I still, still carry that trait on. But somewhere, somehow, these mother effers after, they didn't have to, they didn't want to continue that tradition. Like there was on some equal level. All right. Matter of fact, I'm yapping because it's all the scriptures are coming into mind. 2 Timothy 3 and 1. It says, this now also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous meaning hard times. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, and we're seeing it. All right. Matter of fact, I didn't even have these up in wow. His spirit just takes over. So that level of respect is thrown out the window. Proverbs 30:12, I believe. So there's a generation. Okay, I skipped it. 11. There's a generation that curseth their father and doeth not bless their mother. So the offsprings of these demons that you see, that's not something brand new. That's because the generation before them and the generation before that raised those motherfuckers to be that way. No part of my French. It is what it is. It's clear as day. These motherfuckers are pieces of shit. All right. And they was blessed enough to get children, and look how they raised the fucking children. Them children have no fucking chance at all. And the sad part, like I was discussing this Saturday in the side, was talking about the crack era, and because the generation before me, those people, they came from the heroin and the crack era, and they really affected them. But in the '90s, it kind of trickled early late '90s, no, late '90s, mid to late '80s to '90s. It kind of affected my generation. But there was a slogan back then about crack babies, and the crack babies, their minds with chemical imbalance, right? And that was a fear. I remember young, and they was talking about it, like, yeah, that'd be the fear, because a lot of crack babies, they were coming out and they wasn't up there. So boom, that generation sprung out, and what happens to that generation? They all fucked up in the head. Some odd reason the Lord kept them around, not odd, but and then they get to drugs or something, some shit. And like Apostle Apostle Ricard always said, then you had the GMO babies, all right, which was raised by those people that came from that era of crack, and they all fucked up in the head. And then what ended up happening with this GMO babies? They have children, all right. For a long period of time, we didn't know we was eating GMOs, and now you could see the product of it, and leads to this filthy, wicked, evil generation that we see. Okay, I skipped a generation, but it is what it is. But people understand what I'm saying. So you could clearly see the downgrade of the generations. Which, matter of fact, is two of them I have to get. Second Ezra 5, and was it 8? Says there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be offset sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrel women shall bring forth monsters. And the monsters is this, obviously they're deformed, the deformities, but also their mental deformities. A lot of these children, they're mentally deformed. All right, they're mentally challenged. And in the society that we live in, a lot of these um it's the next chapter. A lot of these generations mentally deformed, and you just, well, there's a term for it too, actually. They slow in the uptake, and they had children, and like many other people say, like listen, what Charleston White was saying about women co-signing that the gay shit and the gangster shit is an environment that is a recipe for disaster. Okay, I'm looking for real quick. This is supposed to be in this chapter. Um, hold on. Saying not upside down. Weak. No. Yeah, weak generation. Oh yeah, weaker. Oh, that's what it is. Second Ezra 14 and 17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. And that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. All right. There's so much evil that's coming, that's on the world. And it says, back to Proverbs 30 and 12, there's a generation that is pure in their own eyes, and yet is now washed from their filthiness. And you could clearly see that. You could do no wrong. They can do no wrong. They can do no right. This the same thing with these parents. Of course, the black woman, of course. And the black woman sitting there saying, like, the way she will talk is the way she talks is the way she wrote the fucking letter and shit. Let me see. This is it too. So we need hear the degeneracy. It's nothing but the degenerates that have children, yo. You know that's exactly what's going on. You could clearly see. This is one of the daughters.
We find mother. A friend in AMF, we gonna stand behind them 100%, no matter what. But this is definitely a lesson learned. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
It like, and I said it multiple times. All the kids were looking at me like, "Oh my God, he did it to her. He did it to her."
Also, a lot of teachers are quitting because they can't deal with these kids, and they're kids. Kids is baby goats. They're made to be sacrificed. All right, they're literally made to be sacrificed.
He did it to her. She's gonna go off. One of the moms of the children who were involved on social media, and it says, "Let me say this. First, my daughter is a grade A kid. She's an AB student, captain of the cheerleading team, ahead of her class in some."
And that's how you also Salakia. I'm gonna be kind of all over the place. I'm trying to make this. I ain't trying to make this long, but there's a lot of parents do this, and what the parents do, that's not really recommended. I will say this much through the spirit, and I'm just talking through the spirit. Just because your child gets good grades at school, that doesn't give them the license or stand there to sit there and say how innocent they are. That proves nothing. All that good grades is they're easy to follow orders by Esau. Let's be real. All right. You as a parent needs to be in that child's life and raise that child and instill great values just the way the Lord intended us to do. This is why when you read the book of Exodus, I'm not gonna get it, but when the Lord told Moses about this memorial, when the generations after asks, what are we doing this for? You supposed to have the answer. So you have to have elders and fathers and so forth. But we grew up in a society where it pushes the men out the house. Okay, and this is the results of it. Just so once again, just because you have a child and the child makes A's and B's, that doesn't make the child innocent or any of that sort. Your job is to instill the proper intake into that child. So that's just a cover up excuse. Because yeah, of course, I remember when a kid got like 65 was passing. So anybody that gets less than 65, you could tell this like it's a common trend. Ain't no more trends, yo. People that could pass tests, guess what? They could be the the worst person possible. All right. So that's not the end all to be all.
Or ish. Y'all used to be out here beating up dope heads and all. Y'all don't know us at all. She was peer pressured. If you know my family, you know if we find a friend in AMF.
And that's another thing. Growing up as a child, I used to be teased. I come from a different generation, yo. The slogan used to be this, and a lot of brothers could contest, and a few sisters could contest that. If your friend jumps over the bridge, would you jump? And the answer is no. I would, because meaning you're not supposed to take no peer pressure. So that's just a weak excuse. Her job as a parent was to ensure that the father was there and to ensure that that child was taught correctly. But since they failed miserably and try to reinvent the fucking wheel, this is what happens. All right. Once again, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. The Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. The Lord gave us a way. The scripture says, if you love your child, not to spare the rod. Not to spare the rod. Or if you're damaged goods and you fucked up in the head, find another way. You don't have to beat the child. Okay? Work on yourselves. Because Jake out here is all fucked up. Either way, the elect's going to be saved and 2/3 going to be out there. All right?
We're going to stand behind them 100%, no matter what. But this is definitely a lesson learned.
Wait. Stop the timeline. Some motherfucker always trying to ice skate uphill. And what you've just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, is the lack of accountability, the lack of a thought process, the lack of humility, the hubris to think that you're going to jump on social media, run your face over and over again and justify and try to say that this kid who jumped a person who was disabled, that this child is a good kid, a great kid. Oh, if you know my kid. No, we don't know your kid. What we know of your kid is that your kid did something absolutely ridiculous.
And that's the woman and her husband. All right, she have sickle cell and so forth. So Jake are fucking merciless, bro. All right. Like I said, there's other videos I wanted to put. I might just do another video on the other joint because it goes into something, our favorite subject. One of our favorite subjects. And it says, brought back in Proverbs 30 and 13 now. There's a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. So we under that generation of just wicked beings, man. All right. Still trying to look for an answer, still trying to figure it out. But just not this video, it's other videos I was watching, and everybody came to the same conclusion. You took the man out the household. All right. You take the man out the household, and you get pregnant by these fucking other monsters. All right. Or either they don't want no part, or they do want a part, and you still fucking throw them off. Because no person in their right mind is gonna want to have a child, and that child dies because of certain situations. A true man is gonna wants to ensure his child's life is better off than his own life. Okay, but is a degenerate nation that we are that's happening right now. Our people are fucking degenerates. You could see why Ezekiel 95 is going to take place. All right, and you can see why. Matter of fact, I was going to hold on to this, but it is what it is. Second Kings, was it? Got to be the 4th chapter. 4 and 1. Nah, it got to be 3 and 1 then. Salakia, I haven't read it in a while. No, it is the 4th chapter. I'm bugging. 4 about. Salakia. Maybe it's not the 4th chapter. Yep, 2, the 2nd chapter. And this is the exact reason. That's all that came in my mind. You could you could see why he did this for. 2 Kings 2 and 23. And he went up from thence unto Bethlehem, talking about Elisha. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him and said unto him, Go up thy bald head, go up thy bald head. So when you read this, you're thinking like, oh, these are just innocent kids that's doing that. Remember Leviticus 19 and 23. The Lord is He doesn't play that game, man. Listen, in case you people don't realize, a man is a man at the end of the day. He's stronger, he's faster, sharper, everything. A child don't stand a fucking chance. In the wilderness, if a cub, I'm thinking of a bear because it's just gonna go into a bear. If a male bear sees a cub bear that's not his, he killing that, and there's nothing the mother can do about it. So that spirit, that level of respect is gonna come back one way or another. This whole shit that men ain't shit, you better throw that shit out the window. All right. And if y'all don't, it doesn't matter because y'all gonna get, y'all women gonna get your bad things about to happen straight up. And it says, and these are children just mocking him, right? Verse 24. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And there came forth two she bears out of the wood, and tear 42 children of them. When a prophet came in the scene, they trembled. All right. So a prophet is the alpha male. They don't play that shit. That spirit is locked in. And Elisha was a mean mother. All right. He ain't play that shit. Did the Lord stop? Elisha said, nah, don't do that. They little children. Lord was like, he honored that. All right. He honored that. He honored that. It says, and he went forth thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. So the Lord didn't rebuke Elisha for what he did. There's some cruel rules. All right. Matter of fact, I had it. Let me get it. Deuteronomy 21 and 18. If a man have a stubborn and a rebellious son, but shall not obey the voice of, this is the ugliness of the truth, the ugliness of the scriptures. Everybody get caught up with the grape thing. This is even far. This is this is our ancient ways. When we had the land, this is what we could have done. All right. So a little spanking here and there, that was mercy. That was an extension of the mercy. And it says, which shall not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and then when they have chastised him, will not hearken unto them. So if both parents talk to this knucklehead ass kid, this child, this man, the son, he refused to listen. This is what the Lord says. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out into the elders of the city and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. So this is to the extreme level. That means that the parents exercise every single possible way, the talking, the beatings, everything. Okay, and this is the this is the law. And he shall not, they say, he will not obey our voice. He's a glutton and a drunkard. So all those niggas be on the corner stores, on the corners, and all that shit. They not supposed to exist. All right. It says, and all the men of the city of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shall thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So it was always about public executions. The Lord was really particular with that. Why? So if anybody had a wise idea, let me try this. Guess what? You'll hear about it. You be that nigga. And you be the example of to everybody. It's like, I'm not gonna do that ever again. Because such and such guy got killed. All right. The fear is taken away from the black homes are destroyed. All right. The black homes are destroyed because there's no order, no structure. And this is to extreme level. When I was thinking about it too, that the Lord is not gonna, He's not gonna allow, not allow, I can't say that. But if you have a rebellious child, you don't have to have the parents or the people of the city to do that. Nah, he got the best whipping stick out there. Esau Edom. All right. Matter of fact, Romans 12. No, sorry, Romans 13:3 to that point. Said, for the rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Would thou then be not afraid? Matter of fact, yeah, I'm right. Be not afraid of power. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is not the minister of, for he is the minister of the Most High. Talking about whom? Those that are in power. See, Esau played you people, played all of us. All right. And the main person that he played is you women. You women are, y'all suckers. Y'all don't want the man in the house. And I'll do that in the other show. Y'all don't want the man in the house. And this is the result of not having a proper man in the house. Y'all want to blame everything under the sun. So now you won't discipline them. Now they're talking about charging the parents. Now you go and discipline them. Well, guess what? Society's going to discipline their ass. Okay. This is why you don't have to. That law I just read in Deuteronomy 21:18 on down. Y'all don't have to apply to that because y'all did a terrible job from period. Now Esau is going to come and step into the scene. Now he's going to take over, and then y'all going to be crying and hooting and hollering, talking about how the so-called white man, how he targets you, and this. Look what you raised. Look what you did. Look what you put out there. All right. There was a time if a parent, the shit, man, you will get your ass whooped if your parents hear people talking about you. And why? Because you're a representation of your parents. So now, like I said, don't worry, your fathers and your mothers, y'all don't have to do nothing. Esau is gonna do it, and he's not gonna show fucking no mercy. All right, for he is a minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if that's why you could call 911, if something emergency happens, when your little nigglets act stupid, you could call 911, right? But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him, that doeth evil. So you want to know why people like Trayvon Martin got what's this kid that got killed in damn, they made a movie out of that shit too. Michael B. Jordan played him. He'll come to me. All these other things, these random things. I'm not saying, hey, it sounds like an innocent thing too to all of us. Like, yeah, the cops just did that. That profiling shit. Yeah, that shit is evil. But we don't know what that person did. All right, we don't know. This is the Lord's. This is accountability. All right, so the Lord can use. He's about to. And how ironic. Chicago had a shooting, right? Teens shooting and all this other shit. After the fact, after the National Guard left. Oh, all of a sudden, all this shit's happening. We ain't stupid, you know what I'm saying? But this is long overdue. Real quick, Ezekiel 9:5, I quoted. It says, unto the others he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have you pity. Because if you see that video And you see how that woman got, I'd seen bits and clips because nobody wants to play the whole thing. They drugged that woman, took her hair out, beat her down. She was sick. Even her own children. The boy was trying to protect the mother. That shit is vexing. All right. And now everybody's saying, oh, these niggas could get get hands done. So now we starting to see why this Ezekiel 95 on down exists. Say slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. So the death angels are coming. All right. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. This mark is what? The wab, which is exempt from judgment. It says, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So there's a reason why he's Lord about to send death angels, bro. Every time you try to feel sorry for these people, there's always something that pops up. Like, don't feel sorry for them because I'm about to do them dirty. So that being said, like I said, there's other videos. Um, I was checking out a whole bunch of them, and I could have never seen anything clear, like straight up the video, because I guess YouTube don't want to show it. But the kids jumping the moms, and everybody's pissed off about it because we are living in some end times right now. So with that being said, shalom to the elect in the nation Israel. Shalom.